Hey everybody, Mr. M here. Just a little bit of info before the long weekend. A lot of us are been at home this week, maybe feeling a little bit sick, so just kind of filling in on some things and just some information on some stuff that might be sent home in your child's agenda. Okay, we in our social studies we've been talking about a combination about our roles and responsibilities, both at school, at home, in public. So again, keep that in the conversation on, especially for our grade ones. The topic there is how your roles and responsibilities change from place to place. How your home is a different place than school, and how we adapt and become a good part of that. Our school community, our home community, and our public community. So keep that in the conversation. Just asking questions like, what is a role here at home compared to when we go out and we might go to the grocery store or something. How does that change from home to other places? That's kind of a focus. Another thing that we are talking about with our grade twos, moving into talking about traditions. I know there's a message this week about what are some of your family traditions, and today your child will be sent home with this sheet here about your traditions, and it's just about getting a little bit of information and maybe supporting them and writing it down. And what kind of things do you do? Do you have a weekly tradition, maybe a weekly food tradition like a Friday night pizza thing, or a once a month you get together for to eat falafel, or something that you do as a group? What kind of things that you do to bring us together, and focusing on that it repeats, that you something that you do, whether it's annually or whether it's weekly or monthly. What kind of things happen? And some of the things that are on here are: is it related to food? Why do you do the tradition? Is it for fun? Is it something that's just being kind of passed down? Does it involve clothing or decorations? For example, like a Halloween tradition involves some dressing up, some decorations, and different kind of things, and a section for some facts about that tradition. And it's right now it's just about doing this with them, just so they can. It's going to be a part of something that we share. So for those of us that were away for a few days this week, it's just even to talk about it and have something to share when you come Monday. In our writing, we are focusing on details, and a good way to do that is in our conversation. So when we talk in our classroom, when the students give me one word answers, say something like ball. If the answer is ball, I give them an example of if you walked up to a random person and just said ball, they'd have questions for you. But what about that ball? What do you mean by ball? So it's the same thing in our writing. We're making sure that if you're explaining something, it's really important to have interesting details about that. So if you're writing even about something as simple as finding a leaf outside, when you are the writer, tell me about this leaf. Really explain. And in the same way that if I were to take this marker and I walked up to someone and I said, marker, it's a marker, they'll probably have questions like, okay, what do you mean by that? So it's that idea in their writing. So having conversations at home, pushing to add some details and to make even conversation more interesting, and it carries over to our writing. So we're trying to do that both in our conversation and in our writing right now here at school. Math, we're still kind of coming to the end of our number sense. So that's things like reading numbers, representing numbers, and describing ways that you see them. So we see numbers everywhere. I see the clock over there. There's numbers. We see price tags and the how much gas costs, and in an article or in a newspaper, you might read a number. So numbers in everyday life. Point these things out, have conversations about them. Composing and decomposing numbers. That's about building and taking apart. So the same way, or how the number 110 is 100 and a group of 10, how you can take that apart to be 110 is a group of 100 and a group of 10, and together it makes 110. So just that conversation about if you see the number 15, you can say how many tens. There's 1 10 and 5 ones. Get this off the screen here. Okay, something else is comparing and ordering numbers. So from least to greatest or greatest to least. So if you have a set of numbers for grade 2, we want to be, our goal is up to 200. And for our grade 1s, let's have a goal of 50 now. So if you had a number like 5, 28, 13, and 41, what order can you put them in? Can you put them in from least to greatest or from greatest to least? So just those little things. Keep it in conversation. It really helps here at school. Estimating numbers. We're working on estimation. Some of you might have saw our estimation videos. So if you are a good place, I always say the grocery store just because there's so many things, and it's one of the only things I can think of where I go with my kids. Maybe not so much right now, but just little things you can look at. Bunches of grapes. How many do you think, what's your estimation for how many do you think are in that and why? Okay, they might say, well, I see a group of 5 looks like this, so it looks like there's 5 groups of 5. Maybe that's 25. Again, just keeping these topics in conversation really helps here at school. The other thing, today we worked on our skip counting again. 2s, 5s, 10s, and for grade 2s, also 25s and 50s. Something that we are missing that will really help these guys out is showing them the pattern. So for example, once you get to 100 counting by 5s, which a lot of us can do in here, once we get to 100, they get stuck. So just showing that the pattern starts all over again when our 5, 10, 15, 20, once you get to 100, 105, 110, 120, 125. So showing that it's kind of a pattern. And once we know I skip counting to 100, it's kind of just in a pattern. So recognizing that it's the pattern, I think it becomes a bit scary once the numbers get bigger, and that's what kind of is making us freeze up now. So that's another thing that we're focusing on. Okay, and I think that is it for now. I don't want to make this too long, but as always, contact me for anything that you need. There will be a note going home about Lexia. Again, if you're just watching this now, a few days ago there's a video. If you just scroll down on this home screen and it says Monday and it says how to use Lexia, it's the same thing that this note is. So you need the 8-digit student number and the password is lowercase Lexia. So that note will be going home. Mr. Wavon doesn't want me to be recording the 8-digit number for privacy issues because that gets into your child's account and it is able to use everything through our school board. So if you don't have that EDSB number, which you should because of the distance education last year, give the school a call to ask for me, and I can give you a call, or in the agenda, maybe send a note there that I can send that number. Hope everybody enjoys a little bit of a long weekend and maybe the last little bit of awesome weather that we got. So enjoy that with your families, and we'll talk soon. Take care.